Hey expats and travelers, I'm Kalie with Expats Everywhere, and I am currently in Braga, where I sit down with Grace, who is an expat here with a very diverse background, and she has some great things to say about the cost of living because it's kind of on the rise here in Braga, safety, the culture, and much more. So let's go talk to her. Grace, thanks so much for chatting with me today. So let's talk about Braga and your experience here. But first, quickly tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
So my mom is Indonesian, my dad is Belgian, and so I was born in Indonesia. But at the age of 3 years old, I went back to Belgium. So basically I did all my education there in Belgium.
Okay. And what was life like before you moved to Portugal?
I was a student, so I was studied journalism and social communication in university in Brazil. And aside this, I was working also as a student job at Quick.
Okay.
It's fast food, really similar to McDonald's. And I was there like a part-time job to finance my studies.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this, just
the university life.
Yeah, student life.
Okay.
That's it.
So why move to Portugal, and specifically why Braga?
So the last year of university, I went in Erasmus in Bucharest, in Romania, and I met a Portuguese guy.
Okay.
And so when I finished my studies, I came here to join him. And he was from Braga, so that's it.
So that's why Braga.
Yeah.
And how long have you been living in Braga?
4 years and a half.
Okay. And what are some differences that you've noticed between, well, even like Romania, Belgium, and living in Portugal?
The first one, it was the weather, obviously.
Okay.
Compared to Belgium, Belgium is really cold, so here it's warm. And then also the people are really welcoming, really friendly. And one of the most important things for me, it was safety. Here I felt really safe. I could dress whatever I wanted without being afraid. I could take a walk at night without being worried. And this is really important for me. It's priceless.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so we know that you have, or you had a boyfriend. Do you still have this boyfriend?
I'm gonna get married.
Yay! Congratulations.
Right now it's my fiance.
Okay, congratulations. So when you moved here, what was the Portuguese culture like to you?
Actually, it was, for me, it wasn't a real shock of the culture, if I can say this, because the culture here is really similar to the Indonesian one. People are really welcoming, like I said, so they really like to share the culture. They are not racist, so I felt really integrated, and it was a smooth integration.
Would you say that specifically to Braga or all of Portugal?
I don't have other experience, so I say personally here in Braga, but I think it's global.
Mm-hmm.
It's really part of their culture to be like that, so I think it's global everywhere in Portugal.
Portuguese culture, yeah. Right? How about the language? Did you speak any of the language? Did you need to speak any of the language?
Now I speak.
Okay.
But in the beginning I didn't, and it was a bit difficult because Portuguese is a really difficult language. I was a bit lucky because my mother tongue is French, and so I have already Latin base. So it was a bit easier to learn, but even like that, I didn't feel a barrier of the language because especially here in Braga, the younger generation, almost all of them, they speak English.
Okay.
So even if at the time when I didn't speak Portuguese, I could communicate
through English?
Yeah, with them.
Does anyone speak French or any other languages that you know, or
here I didn't meet anybody.
So you mainly just would start with English, and then now do you speak English or Portuguese when you are out at a restaurant or something?
I speak Portuguese.
Okay. Now, how did you learn Portuguese?
I learned with my fiance, with my family's in-laws. And I think that when you are in a country, it's faster to learn a language because you are all the time surrounded with Portuguese people, so you are listening to the language all the time. But at the end, because I wanted to take it in a professional way. Also, I needed to have a better Portuguese, not the street Portuguese that you learn. So I took also an intensive class at the University of Braga of Portuguese during 3 months.
And would you recommend this class for those who want the intense?
Yeah, it was at the night, so you can work during the day, and just at night it's 2 hours and a half, 3 hours.
Okay.
And it was intense, but it was fruitful.
Good. Okay, good. Well, you mentioned work, so what do you do for a living?
Right now, I'm working for a Swiss online retail company related with fashion, and basically I'm processing all the invoices, the purchase orders, solving all the issues with missing items, defect items, basically all the general administrative things.
And everything's done at home from remote?
For the moment, yeah, because of COVID.
Okay.
It's at home, but aside this, I'm also a CrossFit coach.
Okay.
And I dedicate also myself by representing some brand on Instagram. So.
Okay, what's your Instagram for those who want to follow?
So it's hgracie95.
Okay, and we'll put that in the description and everything so people can find you. What kinds of things do you put on your Instagram?
More CrossFit, more lifestyle, loving yourself, your body, acceptance.
Awesome.
These kind of things.
Okay, well, we were speaking about this a little earlier, but right now Braga is a Portuguese city that's really on the rise. So would you say that the city is still affordable?
I will say it depends of the kind of lifestyle you want. Like you said, it's a city that's become bigger and bigger. And I remember 4 years ago when I came here, for example, a rent for an apartment of T2, of 2 bedrooms. It was more or less 350, and now it's really difficult to find something less than 500 euros. So it shows that the city becomes bigger with also the cost of life. But aside this, if you want to eat in a restaurant, for example, nothing fancy, you can eat for between 10, 15 euros per person, so it's really affordable. The electricity, for example, per month depends also on the winter or in the summer, right? In the winter, you're gonna spend more, but it's more or less 50 to 60 euros. The water is really affordable, 20 euros per month, more or less. So in global, if you don't do a lot of extra activities, it's affordable.
Okay. And do you live close to the city center, outside? So these prices that you're giving, where is that kind of in the location of Braga?
I'm living quite close to the city center, so also that's why the rent is a bit higher.
Okay, so maybe like around 500 euros a month for a T2?
Maybe you can find.
Maybe, but it might be more?
Further
up.
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned the weather and the winter.
Yeah.
So we are in the northern part of Portugal. What does the winter look like? What's the weather like?
For me, it's basically no winter because I compare all the time to Belgium, and Belgium it's really cold. And even if we are in the north of Portugal, we never get down 0 degree in winter. It's really rare to have negative temperature. I think since I'm here, I never see negative temperature here, but it's a different kind of winter. It's a humid winter, so you get the cold stuck in your clothes, and you feel it
damp.
Longer.
Yeah, okay.
It's different.
Does it ever snow here?
Here in Braga,
You've never experienced it. Will it rain in the winter?
Yeah, Braga is the city of rain.
Okay.
It's really known. They say it in Portuguese, Pinica do Céu. So it's like, it's the city really where it rains a lot. So.
Okay. Yeah. How big of a coat do you wear during the winter when you're walking around? Big or?
I get cold really fast, so yeah,
okay.
big still.
And a good pair of rain boots?
No, just a boot. It's
just your boots, and then you're good? Okay.
Yeah, it's not tropical rains. It's a bit of rain.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But just a lot through the winter.
Yeah.
And then how about the summer like it is now? I mean, you're in a little dress that's quite the opposite, right?
Yeah. This summer, it was a bit strange because it started only now to get warm and we are already in August. But normally you can have temperature until 40 degrees. So it's really the extremes.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of your favorite things about Braga?
I like a lot of things.
Tell us.
The people, first of all. I don't know if it's because it's a cozy city, because it's not that big like Porto or Lisbon. And so the people are really more like a family. They are really cozy and everybody know almost everybody. But it's not like in the village where it's too much everybody.
Yeah.
Among, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Otherwise, I really like also the landscapes. Like in Belgium, it's a flat country, so we don't have all the mountains, landscape, and this kind of things. So, for example, in Bom Jesus, every time I go there, even if I went there already maybe 1,000 times, I still get amazed with the views. I don't get enough of it.
Okay, awesome.
So that's it.
Okay. How has life changed since moving to Braga?
It changed a lot. It's a completely different culture. I came here alone. I don't have family, so I needed to integrate myself in a completely different culture, different country, different language. I needed to make myself new friends. But all of this enriched myself. I grew with this also. And yeah, Braga, it's a really good city for quality of life. So maybe you're gonna earn less than other cities, but in return you have a quality of life that you don't find in every city. So it's good.
Okay, awesome. And at Expats Everywhere, we believe that living abroad transforms lives. So how has living abroad transformed your life?
I don't say transform because I take my life like a series of Netflix. So it's like another episode.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was, of course, it changed because before my life in Belgium, I was a student. Here, I'm an active. I'm in an active life. So I don't know what would be my life there. Probably I would work in what I studied. Here I needed to adapt myself, take other angle of in my professional ways. But like I said, I don't regret it at all because moving another country teach you a lot, not only professionally but also psychologically. You learn a lot of different cultures, and all of this. It makes you a better person with a spirit more open also, and yeah, I really like to live here.
Cool. Well, Grace, thanks so much for telling us about life as an expat in Braga. And if you guys want to learn more about Portugal through an expat's eyes, then click this playlist right up here. Now let's get moving.